美心，美心在哪？美心在哪？美心在哪？
Halloween is one of my favourite times of year. Cooked up with equal measures of ancient evil and greeting card company cynicism, it's a holiday that sees us sending our kids out in scary costumes to bug strangers, whilst we sit at home and watch the goriest horror flick we can find or obsess over the latest serial killer documentary series. No? Oh, okay, just me then. That is what's so great about this time of year. And yes, I've rolled my eyes at people doing it wrong with their sexy or cute dress up, but actually, that's what it's all about. The juxtaposition of safe and scary or horror and humour. Video games play into that narrative beautifully. They are the epitome of terrific and terrifying. You could be scared witless walking through an asylum or trying to fend off a zombie horde, but you'll be having a great time doing it because you're actually sitting in comfort at your computer desk with a can of Pipeline Punch and a bag of original Cheetos. And no, not those weird puffy ones, they don't count, and don't even talk to me about chili heatwave Doritos. But step forward 2019's Devotion from Taiwanese developer Red Candle Games to bring in some real scares. On the face of it, Devotion is a well-made and intriguing psychological horror that's conservative with jump scares but liberal with puppets. The game is a snappy 3-hour atmospheric horror mystery that follows a small family through 3 periods in 1980s Taiwan and explores their relationship as they decline through difficult times, financial hardship and dealing with mental illness. The developers use a clever combination of sound design, visual cues and level layout to direct the attention of the player who, for the most part, controls the father Feng Yu. Like a tricksy magician, when you look one way, the game does something just out of view, and these interactions make for an unsettling experience. A corridor which was empty when you turned your back may now be home to a creepy-looking silhouette, or be a different room altogether. You are teased with this early on when followed around the apartment by life-size funeral dolls representing yourself and your wife that only move when you're not looking, and it is frigging horrible. The majority of the story takes place across time in the family's cramped apartment, in which the developers tried to capture an air of Taiwan, saying Taiwan is a country that rarely gets displayed and showcased in games. The production quality and attention to detail of Devotion only becomes more impressive when you learn that this was Red Candle's first go at making a 3D first-person game, their previous work being the popular 2017 2D horror side-scroller Detention. The game draws inspiration from Layers of Fear, What Remains of Edith Finch and PT, but the latter is also similar for the wrong reasons, and that's because the chance of you playing PT or Devotion are probably comparable. But whilst PT's short lifespan was just happenstance, the death of Devotion was much more pernicious. You may at this point be wondering why I'm even talking about Devotion. I mean, after all, it was released in early 2019 and it's nearly the end of 2020. And whilst Devotion would make an excellent game to play on a spooky Halloween night if you weren't too bothered about sleeping, chances are you won't get to play it because it was withdrawn from sale almost immediately upon release, and it now looks as though the game will never see the light of day again. The controversy and removal from sale is rather straightforward, but it is also the scariest aspect of Devotion. Not long after players first got their hands on it, they discovered that some placeholder assets had made it into the main game, and unfortunately for the devs, these assets will be the death of it. A talisman decorating a wall contained the words Xi Jinping Winnie the Pooh, referencing the meme of the day, along with some disparaging remarks about someone's mother. Taken together, these were considered to be insults to the Chinese leader and resulted in a mass review bombing campaign by patriotic Chinese players. Some more sleuthing turned up other game elements that could be seen as insulting to China's leaders, and it wasn't long before the game was removed from sale to fix technical issues. Unfortunately, by this point, the damage had been done. Distributors had pulled out, Red Candle Games had their Weibo account blocked, and even the game's publisher's IndieVent had their license revoked. It was a shit show, and when the dust had settled, it was 2020 and the developers' last-ditch attempt to sell their game was to take physical pre-orders that would be limited to Taiwan only from June 8th to 15th. The only way to play Devotion now is through piracy, which is a damning indictment of political pressure beating down a game for offering little offence. Hopefully this is the last time we see something like this, but of course it won't be. Games have long been a way to tell a story and a form of expression, and those under pressure often have more to say, and when one meme can get you cancelled, it's a sorry state of affairs. I for one look forward to the day I can legitimately pay to play Devotion, even if it means I will probably never sleep again. Thanks for watching this video, have a great Halloween, and check back to the Super Show soon for more awesome content.